Oh, greetings and salutations, my artsy friends. How is everyone today? So good, I hope. Sorry I'm a little late today. Anyway, I'm here now. So I have so much to talk to you about. I know we say that all the time. But number one, look, we're horizontal again. Yay. Number two, can you believe we have been doing this together since April 11th? That was, hey Laura, hi Nancy. No, you know what? I'm not tired. I have this really sensitive throat. And I tried to eat something really fast before this class so I wouldn't be hungry and thinking about that. And I should never hurry and eat. And so it's my throat. Nope, I'm just sitting here. So I have, let's see, what do we have to talk about today? Well, my new art printable. I hope that everybody has gotten that and is painting away because I'm dying to see what everybody makes with them. This is the, hey Sharon, this is the Brandy art printable, and it's all about Christmas trees. And it is so fun to paint. So this is what I did in my yesterday class, because remember we had Black Friday class instead of Thursday class because of the holiday. So there's this one and this one that I've been painting on. I hope that everybody else is painting along. So anyway, if you are brand new here, I hope that you will follow me at Corbiere-Scott Designs on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. And my art printables are available at Corbiere-ScottDesigns.com. And then once you are, you follow and like me on Facebook and Instagram, if you will ask to join our private Facebook group, Let's Get Artsy with Corbiere-Scott. We do lots of fun, well, we just have ourselves a time. I need to, excuse me for 1 second. I'll be right back. Okay, sorry. Okay, hey Lenora, how are you? Ooh, I'm anxious to see what you did, Nancy. So, let's get on with today's artist. I'm so excited to share her with you. I told you she's an American artist, and her name is Faith Ringgold, and she is just amazing. I have, let me find all my notes, but I also have the little iPad up here to show you some of her art. So she is, okay, again, so still alive, born in 1930 in Harlem, born and raised in Harlem, New York. So she was, I mean, think about that. She was born during the Depression. And I'm telling you, she took her surroundings and went to town. She, oh, brother. You know what, I just did a stupid reset on this little iPad and whatever. It says I'm not connected to the Wi-Fi. Stinking liar. You know what? Let's do it on this big one. So, whoa! Sorry about that, you guys. Did you get a big, view of my chest? Sorry about that. Let's see. Ooh, I need to turn that music off, huh? We're gonna get ourselves in trouble. We won't, I will. Okay, so Faith Ringgold. So Faith Ringgold, this is she. Can you see her? I presume. All this technology. Crazy. So let's talk about Faith Ringgold. So she, like I said, she was born and raised in Harlem, and she was, she had chronic asthma, and so she couldn't go to school in the beginning, and she, I promise I'll keep it family friendly. That I presume that means you have some littles with you, Miss Rennie. I know, I'm so sorry. I had a tripod issue. So because she had this chronic asthma, she wasn't able to go to school often. And so she, her mom taught her a lot, and her mom was a fashion designer. And let's see, here's another picture of Miss Faith Ringgold. She, she was, I know, I'm so sorry, good gravy, that's so crazy. She learned to sew and work creatively with fabric when that happened. And so she, her artwork started to really incorporate quilting. Her, she was greatly influenced by the people, poetry, and music, as well as racism, sexism, and segregation in her neighborhood, right? Because she lived in this in this artistic neighborhood where that was right at the Harlem Renaissance. So like Duke Ellington was her neighbor, Langston Hughes. Can you imagine being around all of that inspiration, all of that creative energy? I just can't imagine how you couldn't be creative coming out of that. So she earned her degree in 1950. She went to City College of New York City. She enrolled, and she wanted to major in art, but at that time, City College only allowed women to enroll in certain majors, and so she had to make it art education to be able to earn her degree. And so she did, and she taught art for quite a long time. She taught at the I think in high school level and then in college. But right after her graduation with her master's, she traveled to Paris, Florence, and Rome. She took her mother and her 2 daughters with her. And while she was visiting the Louvre, that inspired her quilt paintings called the French Collection. And so I will show you, there is a Matisse right here. Remember, we just studied him not very long ago. A Matisse painting. So this is Matisse's chapel. And do you remember these from our Matisse artist study? Let's see. So then during other travels, she, to West Africa, she was deeply influenced by mask making, doll painting, and sculptures. So here is a quote which I thought was just fabulous. I got a fabulous education in art. Wonderful teachers who taught me everything except anything about African art or African American art. But I traveled and took care of that part myself. Shut up. Is that like the most badass woman? Like, she just handled her stuff. So quilt making was a family tradition in her family. So, ooh, look at this African mask. That's a Faith Ringgold. Oh, okay, so she was greatly influenced by Kuba textiles. So be sure to look that up. Kuba. Kuba textiles. And that's from the Democratic Republic of the Congo. And so you'll see this style where she has divided these divided blocks, right? So very quilt-like. And filled them with messages. So her whole deal was story quilts. So she took the traditional craft of quilt making and she reinterpreted it into, so do you see all here? That's the story. She incorporates the story into the quilt, right? So, let's see. Look at her. She's just so regal. Oh my gosh. So like I said, quilt making was a family tradition for her, as her grandmother had learned the art from her mother, Susie Shannon, who was a slave. And so you'll notice that quilt I just showed you, where is it? Is a Susie quilt. Isn't that the coolest? I just love, so here, this is certainly a New York City, Brooklyn Bridge, maybe George Washington Bridge, I don't know. You'll see lots of, so do you see, there's always people incorporated in her art. There's lots of patterns and lots of textures, right? But then there's also a story, right? So, what I think, is that, and she wrote a bunch of children's books, and that's what I started this whole session out on, was showing you Tar Beach, which is here's some Kuba, do you see the Kuba pattern here? And a beautiful African lady creating there's some more Kuba textiles from the Congo. So, but how she incorporated them here's one of the ones she did. Do you see how she divides her shape, right? So this is rectangular, and the piece that I'm working on is rectangular too, because I did it in my art journal. but many that she does are square. So here's Black America, Faith Ringgold. I think that is just so cool. Here's another cool thing that she did. So she did this subway art in New York City. So she incorporated her artwork, and she knew exactly the subway stop she wanted it, the 125th Street subway stop in Harlem. And do you see, like, can you see that? That's the Apollo Theater, right? And she, let's see, here's more that says arts. So cool. Oh, I did it again, you guys. This always happens when I try to make things big. The Cotton Club. Look at how beautiful that is. So lovely. I just love that. Oh, I did it again. Sorry, you guys. I keep doing that. You would think I would learn. Oh, well. So, I thought that I would share. So, I have 2 of her books that my daughter had. The Invisible Princess. Do you see? And I loved this because you could really see her artwork. You could really see the, she painted a lot on canvas, but like loose canvas, because then she incorporated them into quilts. And so I thought that it would be interesting for you to see her beautiful artwork, right? I just think it's so lovely. And then Tar Beach. And so in Tar Beach, she talks about how they went to the roof, and her family, like the grown-ups, played cards, and there was always lots of yummy snacks to have. And the 2 children laid on these quilts and looked at the stars. And then they imagined that they could fly over the city, and they could see all kinds of things. And so one of her most famous quotes is, "Anyone can fly." So be thinking about that. There, do you see? Here's Tar Beach, the actual quilt. And you can see the story is here and down here. And that the girl, and what was her name? No, I don't remember the girl's name. Gosh, we read this story so many times. But anyway, she, that you, her big quote in the story was that you can, there we go, you can fly among the stars. That it's kind of as great as your imagination. Isn't that the coolest? Oh my gosh, it's so bright and cheerful. Even when she was writing, so it must have been the George Washington Bridge, I just read that. Even when she was writing about situations that were challenging, she still had this huge essence of hope in her work. And so, is everybody ready to get started? So I'm going to pull my art journal out and show you how I've started. You can certainly be inspired to create however you want, but I really wanted to be inspired by the Cuba style of Jeff's friend is tearing out of here. Whatever. I just heard him peel out. And he's like a 62-year-old man. Whatever. Anyway, I really wanted to be to play with that Cuba style of quilting, but I wanted to tell my story. And so I thought, well, I thought about what story I wanted to tell. And the more I thought about it, the more I thought about this class. And I thought, because we're coming to December, and so the end of the year, that's always a time when we reflect on our life and what we're doing and what we did. And I like to focus on the positive. And so what I came up with was, I wanted to focus on this class, and so what I did was I drew my Cuba block, so to speak, and I did paintbrushes, because paintbrush is my logo, and that's just such a big part of me and my life. But what I was thinking was that I'm going to incorporate all of the artists that we have studied throughout this class in the binding of in the edge of my quilt. And then I don't know what else I want to fill mine with, but I hope that you will think about what story you want to tell. I mean, we are on the eve of December, the last month of 2020. And although it has been a very crazy, weird year, so many good things have happened, and I hope that you'll focus on the good things that happened in whatever story you want to tell. It doesn't have to be the story of 2020, certainly. It could be whatever story you would like. It could be, the story of your child's birth, or the story of, I don't know, whatever, whatever story you want to learn, whatever story you want to pay tribute to. I just felt like it was such a cool, way to pay tribute to not only the stories of our lives, but to incorporate the written word and our art, right? Because for so long, in the Native history, certainly, and African American history, storytelling was the only way that memories and stories were passed down. And so I feel like that's such a, hey Kay, how are you? I feel like that's such a cool way for us to incorporate her ideas and our ideas. Do you know what I'm saying? Because that's what we do, right? We take an artist and we study that artist, and we are inspired by that artist, and then we create in our art journal. So Kay, today we are, if you are new here, I hope that you will follow me at Corbiere-Scott Designs at Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. And then my art printables are available at AnnCorbiereScottDesigns.com. I hope you ask to join my private Facebook group, Let's Get Artsy with Ann Corbiere-Scott. And today is our Saturday class, which is called Let's Get Artsy Together Apart, because this class was born because of the pandemic. I mean, who knew back in April that we would be still here? I mean, I am so glad. I'm so glad that we're all still together, and that we're all still creating every week. I feel like I do want to change it up maybe a little bit once the new year starts. I don't know exactly what I want to do, but I'll keep you posted. I'm sure you noticed that last night you know what? I knew I wanted to send an email, and then, you know what? I just got watching a movie, and I totally forgot what day it was. You know what? Isn't that crazy? Through this whole thing, you would think that I'd be able to keep better track of days, but absolutely not. So here is a fascinating fact. We have studied 30 artists since April 11th. That's when we started, April 11th. And so we are today, Ms. Ringgold is our 30th artist. Is that crazy. So now I want to figure out how I'm going to incorporate her, or incorporate the artist in the what is this called, Lori? The sashing? Is that what this, is that the sash? What is that called? My quilty friend. This part, not the very edge with the binding, but this, whatever this is. So I need to figure out how I'm going to make room for 30 artists, right? So 30 divided by... Okay, so I have my list. Here's my list. So you know what, Annalisa? I will, the border. There you go. So I will post this in our private Facebook group, our list of all the artists that we've studied over the year. So I know that... Oh, I hate math. But I feel like I really want to pay tribute to them all. And I want to write something big in all of these spaces. I feel like that's where I can tell my story, which I think is cool. But I feel like all of the names of the artists will tell my story too. Ooh, I wanted to, speaking of which, I wanted to tell you some of her best quotes. Are you ready? You can sit around and wait for someone to say, you can't sit around and wait for someone to say who you are. You need to write it and paint it and do it. She's a rock star. Creativity helps us realize that we don't have to understand everything. Anyone can fly. I decided when someone says you can't do something, do more of it. Isn't that the greatest? I just love that. Love it, love it, love it. So I don't know if I want to, let's see, if I divide here, I mean, they don't have to be even, right? I kind of like them if they're not even, you know me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So I could divide this and here. So I hope that you are creating along with me. Miss Keeley could use our prayers. She fell and hurt her wrist, I'm sorry to say. So she won't be typing very much today. So Nancy, if you could be my timekeeper. How am I doing? Let's see. Looks like I'm... Ouch, I did it again. Gee whiz, I am so sorry. Oh my gosh. Honest to Pete. There we go. I feel like, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 12. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So I need to add 10 more squares. Thanks, Nance. I kind of feel like I want to do, you know how we do, like we do that fill lettering. We've done that in some other things. Like in this art print ball, when I did, how I did this, and then you could, remember you're going to have your letters go from the top to the bottom, right? And fill the entire space with letters. I kind of feel like I want to do something like that in these edges, in these little blocks with our artist names. I don't know. How about everybody else? What are you thinking about doing? Anybody? Come up with a good idea? Hey Sarah, how are you? Hey Aunt Mer, how are you? So we are studying Faith Ringgold, who is a famous, well, she's a lot of things. She's a painter, she's a sculptor, she's an activist, she's an amazing quilter, mixed media artist, and she's just most known for her narrative quilts. And so she calls them story quilts. So here is one of her children's books, Tar Beach, where she talks about the story of living in Harlem and where her family would all go to the rooftop and they pretended it was a beach, and they had the grown-ups played cards and they had yummy snacks, and the children laid on a little makeshift bed and looked at the stars and then imagined themselves flying over the city. And you'll notice that that is a huge theme in lots of her work, where she's looking at things from the sky, from the sky's point of view. So I think that is super cool. And so I am telling the story of this class, these since April. This class has been going since April 11th. That was my first one. And so I'm thinking that I wanted to somehow pay homage to this class, because I feel like it's been such a, it's just been such an amazing thing. I mean, I started my, so crazy, my poor little business that I had dreamed up in like December, and well, I'd been dreaming about it for a while, but that I dreamed up and started the process in January. Who knew, right? And then like my website launched May 1st. Because I wanted it to launch on May Day, because I'm all about flowers, right? Well, because who thought that this thing we'd still be going strong in December? But here we are, and I feel like we all made the best of a crazy situation. We had a great Thanksgiving, Sarah. Thank you for asking. It was just my aunt, my friend Tessa, and Jeff and I. And you know what? We just kind of laid around and ate and talked, and you know how we always do. Hey Joe, how are you? So I feel like, well, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. I need to add 2 more squares. So let's do 1 here and 1 here. Right? So how about, is anybody else kind of sketching out your idea? Have you kind of thought about what you're going to do? I mean, she has so much artwork that you can, her reference stuff is amazing. Hey Christine, how are you? So good, I hope. So Christine and Joe, since you're just joining us, I will let you know that today's artist study is Faith Ringgold. It's fine, it's fine. Hey Renee, today's artist is Faith Ringgold, right here. She is an American painter, writer, mixed media artist, sculptor, performance artist, activist, but is best known for her narrative quilts. So do you see here, you can see on the, and she wrote a lot of children's books. It does require a plan, Nance. It does require a plan. Hey Brenda, how are you? So here, so you see that she incorporates all kinds of patterns and textures and all of that cool stuff. And then she also tells her story, right? But she also in here's the actual Tar Beach quilt. Do you see this strip right here and right here? And here's another cool thing. She did, it's in her handwriting, which again, shush up, Keely. I love when people incorporate their own handwriting because there's something so personal about each person's handwriting, right? So, well, Rennie, what I think that I am going to do is I'm going to incorporate each artist's name that we've paid tribute to since this class started in April. And so I am just going to, I made a list of all 30 artists that we have studied, and I'm going to incorporate their names in their, in a square. Hi Anne, how are you? And then I'm going to, sorry. And then I'm going to, so Anne, Brenda, Joe, if you're brand new here, please follow me at Facebook, at Anne Corbiere-Scott Designs on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. We try to keep new content on there all the time. Remember that we meet back here on Tuesdays and Thursdays and do pop-in paint parties where we paint my art printables. This week's art printable is Brandy, and it is all Christmas trees. Although when I was printing it off, Tessa said, "That looks like the Colorado mountains. Like I could paint it like the Colorado mountains." Can I tell you that I love that? I love that, love that, love that. She's a Colorado girl, as you can imagine. Anyway, I just thought that was fun, and so I'm gonna start doing my names. So I have Paul Klee. Paul Clay. He's a small name. So, I mean, and here's the thing. You can get as creative with your lettering as you do with your art, right? So look you can take that L all the way to the edge and then fill in your E's right here. That's kind of fun, right? So let's make a tick mark beside his name so we know we did that one. Let's see. Oh, Elma Thomas. Remember her? She was pretty amazing. So let's do Alma. Thomas T with its super tall T. I just want them to just fit perfectly in here. Oh gosh. You're shopping today, Miss Renee. I think it is too. So the assignment, if you choose to take it, Miss Rennie, is to create a story quilt of your own. You can tell any story that you want, right? You can pay tribute to whatever story in your life you want to pay tribute to. It can be anything. It can be an amazing birthday that you had, or the story of your family coming to America, or your child's birth, or putting in a pool in your backyard, whatever story you want to pay tribute to, that's what I hope that you will. Hi, Faith. That's what I hope that you will create in your art journal, is that you're going to pay tribute to your story, the story you want to tell. So Faith, we are doing an artist study today of Faith Ringgold, who was an amazing textile artist and activist and painter, sculptor, but she's most known for her story quilts. And this is Tar Beach. So she wrote a children's book named after the quilt that I'm going to show you now. And you'll see that she incorporates the story as part of her quilt. But her quilting, her patchwork work is amazing. Look at it. Like so much pattern and texture and so cool. And this part of the quilt, she painted on canvas. And then she incorporates the canvas, the story, the painting of the story as the base, and then she goes around with all these beautiful patches, and then she incorporates her story. Like she actually writes her story. I understand, Renee. I understand. That's for sure. Oh, I think that would be amazing, Rennie. That would be a great story to tell. So, I mean, it can be whatever the story you want to tell. What's meaningful to you, you know? I think that, I saw that. Thank you, Keely. Oh, and Funky Fossils. So they are a UK company, but they are available at a store in the States called Frantic Stamper. I don't have her information immediately available. Just a second. I will try and look it up. So, yes, I've drawn some cool stuff for her, for Funky Fossil Designs. And I have some new stuff coming out in January, too. Shut up! And March. Sorry about that. Frantic Stamper. Okay, so here we go. Frantic Stamper is I don't know where she's located, but anyway, she's in the States. So if you wanted to order from Frantic Stamper, you most certainly can. But if you order from Funky Fossil, that's where you're going to get 25% off through the 30th. That's amazing. That's amazing. And her stuff is very reasonably priced, I thought. And you'll get to stamp with my cute stuff. They're flowers, of course. Let's see. I drew a stamp set for her called Hello Gorgeous. Come on, how cute is that? So I really like that there's so many patterns involved in this. And so I'm really thinking about, because I'm going to incorporate names around the edges, I'm wondering like what I can incorporate in these spaces. I feel like that I want it to be, maybe mine would be kind of opposite of hers. My words would be around the edge, and my pattern, my art could be in the center. Well, her art is in the center too, isn't it? Who else did I do? Alma Thomas. Where's her name on my list? So I hope that everybody participates, and I hope that everybody thinks about what story they want to incorporate and what they, and how they're going to pay tribute to their story, I just feel like it was an amazing... Mary Blair, remember her? The Disney artist who did Small World. I mean, when we look at what we have accomplished in 1 year, girls, it's pretty outstanding. Right? Oh, that's a cool idea, Keels. I don't know. I know, but how am I going to choose? I kind of love them all. I don't know. I'll figure something out, I'm sure. I was just working on my Ted Harrison this morning. Gosh. That was he was one of my favorites. You know what? That's a lie. They're all my favorites. That is a filthy lie. Ooh, Peter Max. He was a fun one. But I feel like I do want to somehow, I don't know, like incorporate some color, coordinate some colors in all of these. Where's Peter Max on here? There we go. So is anybody drawing along with me, or are you just watching and listening and thinking? I do feel like this one is one that you do kind of want to think about a little bit, maybe. Ooh, Frida. Let's see. Ooh, George O'Keeffe. I love this where I can just fit things in the smallest possible spots, and make it all fit like a puzzle. Georgia O'Keeffe. Ooh, what about Yayo? Remember her? She was amazing. Hey Charmaine, how are you? Thank you for the lovely compliment the other day. I really appreciated that. I did. Okay. You. S. A. M. A. I love that. It's so fun to just kind of piece it all together. Oh, so Charmaine, so because you're brand new here, I will tell you that our artist study today is Faith Ringgold, and she was an amazing painter, sculptor, mixed media artist, activist, all the things. But she's most well known for her story quilts. And so here is an example. She wrote a children's book called Tar Beach about this quilt that she did. So her, you'll see this center painting is on canvas. So she's incorporated that painting, and then she does traditional quilting around the edges. And then she tells the story in her own handwriting on fabric and incorporates that into the quilt too. So, and this one is at the Guggenheim. How amazing is that? You know the lady that makes all of the very fancy purses that are very bejeweled? Oh, I don't remember her name. Anyway, and they're in funny shapes. Like there's like, you know, it looks like a candy bar, or it looks like a light bulb or whatever, but it's all covered in crystals. I know you know what I'm talking about, those purses. Anyway, that woman bought this painting and then later on donated it to the Guggenheim. How amazing is that? I just love it. I just love it. Anyway, take a moment and find more out about Faith Ringgold, and you will be so glad you did. I just think about, so we are creating our own story quilts, right? We're creating our own, whatever story you want to tell, in your art journal, in your story quilt. Hey Kathy, how are you? Ooh, Jackson Pollock. Let's see, how can we do his name in a fun way? Who has the longest name? Helen Frankenthaler. She has the longest name. Oh, let's do... No, but I will put one up, Aunt Mar. I will put the list up. I just think, oh my gosh, what a cool, you know what? We had to stay home anyway, so why wouldn't we do something fun, right? Frankenthaler. F-R-A-N... Super skinny. E T H. It's getting skinnier and skinnier. A L E R. Helen. Ooh, so now let's make Helen stretch out. So we know L is the middle letter of Helen, right? Love that. I don't know. I'm like thinking about how I'm going to make it appear like a quilt more than just squares around the edge, you know. That'll be a fun thing to fiddle around with. And I wanted them to not be in the order that we studied them. I wanted them to just be here, there, and everywhere. I just wanted to be surrounded by all of that art. Jasper. Jones. How's everybody doing? Is anybody drawing along with me? Grandma Moses. She was amazing. Let's see. Let's do her name this way. This is why we do everything in pencil. Looked cuter in my head. Ugh. I am loving this. I mean, you could do the story of a garden. That would be fun. That would really be fun to fiddle around with, right? It could be anything you want. You know, it could be the story of something that happened that day. Olga, I haven't seen you here in forever. I'm so glad you're back. How are you doing? So good, I hope. So I hope that you will work really hard on thinking up the story you want to tell and what you want to, you know, and how you want to tell it. I feel like that's such a, that's okay. You can always watch us on the replay. I'm just happy to see you. I'm just happy to see you. I just hope that everybody will tell a story because it's so therapeutic. Number one, to just write it and to draw it and then to paint it, right? To think up the subject that you want to tell, and then also to like how you're gonna tell it, right? I'm sure. Oh my gosh, Olga, we missed you too. Thanks, Nance. I feel like I just hope that everybody, like I said, tells their story. It could be whatever you want. There's no judgment here. It could be the day you ripped your pants. I don't know. Whatever you want to tell. But just think of a story and tell it in whatever way you want to tell it. In a quilty way, you know? So we get to, hey Catherine, how are you? Catherine, we are studying Faith Ringgold today. And here's an interesting family factoid, Catherine. When Eileen, my mother-in-law, when she worked at the Oceanside Art Museum, there was a Faith Ringgold exhibit there, and so we got to see it, and it was amazing. And you know, there's just nothing like seeing art in person. I mean, the internet is fabulous and books are fabulous, but there's nothing like standing right in front of it. It's just I don't know, it's awe-inspiring. Anyway, so we got to see her there, or see her art there, and we got to do so much. Hey, Rosanna. We just got to be immersed in her art, right? And so that's how we started with all of the children's books, and oh my gosh, and then the love affair with her just began. So she was many things, but she was mostly known as for her story quilts. And so this is the story quilt that the children's book Tar Beach was written about. And so you can see that her main painting here on canvas is incorporated into her quilt, and then she adds traditional quilting around the edges, and then she incorporates the story in her own handwriting right on fabric, and then she stitches that right in with everything else. I just feel like that is such a unique way to tell a story, and one that is thought-provoking, you know, and is really something kind of really needed in this day and age. So I will get ready to bid you adieu. Boo-hoo-hoo. But be sure to follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Corbiere-Scott Designs. And my art printables are available at Corbiere-ScottDesigns.com. And then please ask to join my private Facebook group, Let's Get Artsy with Ann Corbiere-Scott. One of the questions to join that private group is to leave your email address. I hope that you really will, so then we can be in touch back and forth. I tried something new with my email this morning. Let me know what you think about that, you guys. I was just trying to get creative. Be on the lookout. Cyber Monday. I have something special planned, so watch my social media for that. And paint and tell your story, and then share it on our private Facebook group. I am working on finishing a bunch of the things we've started in my art journal, and then I have some other work to do. Boo. And you know, every now and again I need to sweep this kitchen floor. So, but there's probably something good on TV that I could lay on the couch and watch and draw instead. I hope everybody had a great time. I know I sure did. Keep art alive and in your life every day. I am so grateful that you take time out to be with me 3 times a week. And just get creative with me and just escape life for a little bit. It's just an hour. It's not too much. Thank you all so very much. And I'll see you on Tuesday. We'll make something cute. Bye, you guys.